Thank you so much for your questions and comments in the last video. I'd like to start with a concern that one person had. They said, what if I have a slip? I'm worried that I'm going to feel like I'm some kind of an imposter. So, we just talked about this in the community just a few weeks ago. And I can tell you that the women in the community are definitely open-hearted humans. We all understand the addictive power of alcohol, and we understand that different things in life happen. But here's the thing that I would invite you to consider, is that being in the community can help you stay sober. If your sobriety is as important to you as it is to myself and the other women who are in the group, this is one of the most important decisions I've made in my life, then joining the community is something that can actually help you to stick with your commitments. And I'd like to tell you a couple stories about how that has worked for members who are already in the community. So there was one woman who told me that this summer, when she would go to barbecues over at her neighbors where she knew there was going to be a lot of drinking, that she would put on this friendship bracelet that I had given her at one of the in-person events. And so that way she was able to look at it, and it reminded herself, I'm one of my sober girlfriends, and I am going to be attending an event next week. There was another woman who had gone on a trip, and there was an old friend that came and picked her up and unexpectedly took her to a bar, ordered an alcoholic drink. And then here's the like, I can't even believe it part, is that he then sat there with this drink and lovingly described in detail how delicious this alcoholic drink was. So she's sitting there looking at him, and she said she got this vision of all of us standing behind her with our hands on her shoulders for support, like we were her guardian angels. And when she told me that story, I just got chills down my spine, because that is the power of being in a community like this. There is so much social pressure out there that's telling us to drink, that having the accountability of this group that is supporting you to not drink is just incredibly, incredibly powerful. So my name is Naomi Beek. I am 3.5 years free of alcohol and marijuana. I have a background in the restaurant industry, in education and facilitation, and in transformation. And I now have turned all of my attention towards creating an opportunity for sober women like you, one that I did not see was available to me when I really needed it, which was to be able to have this community of like-minded women. So in the last video, what I shared is that what I have found is the foundation of authenticity for ourselves. Actually, everything that I've been studying is absolutely like the foundation, which is welcoming what is. So it's noticing our present moment experiencing, noticing our thoughts, our emotions, our body sensations, and being able to actually welcome that. Because it is only by welcoming our present moment experience that we're able to respond from the reality of what is. So what about in relationships? And that's what I wanted to share today, taking it one step further. And this is where the real magic can happen. So once you're aware of your experience, of the what is, and you've welcomed that, the next step is to reveal it. So what does that mean? Well, let me give you an example of a woman who did this beautifully at one of our events. She was a brand new member. She showed up and she told us, I'm feeling very nervous, and I'm also feeling very proud of myself. So how do you think you would have felt if you were there and she had shared that in that moment? Well, I can tell you, I felt closer to her in that moment, because what she did was she gave me a window into this grand mystery that we all want to know, which is, what is it like to be someone who is not me? I want to know, what is your experience of this moment that we are experiencing at the same time? So by sharing that, revealing your experience, your present moment experience with another person, that is where you can have, that's the foundation of authentic relationships. So my invitation to you is to try this. This is something that you can start right away. I suggest starting it with people who are really close to you maybe, and start just revealing to them what your actual experience is. So instead of repressing it, instead of suppressing it, try revealing it instead and just see what happens. So one of the other concerns that somebody shared with me was about vulnerability. They were, I guess, afraid of getting vulnerable. So what I'm wondering is, what does vulnerability mean to you? Now, to some people, they think I'm going to be joining this community, and then I'm going to be asked to reveal all of these like deep, dark secrets and all of these just terrible stories from my past. And that's what it means to get vulnerable. Well, what if I told you that the real power of vulnerability in relationships comes in revealing your present moment experience? I have to say, the women in the community, I feel very close to them. And not because I know their deepest, darkest secrets, because I don't. But what I do know is their experience of the present moment. And that is the kind of vulnerability that can really help you feel closer to another person. Okay. Well, on Instagram, I've also been sharing these 6 mantras of loving speech from Thich Nhat Hanh, international spokesperson for mindfulness meditation. And you'll notice if you look through those that they are all about sharing your present moment experience with another person. And that is where our essential aliveness lives. And isn't that what being sober is all about? Is experiencing our essential aliveness. If you have any comments, questions about this content, about the membership, please post those here. You can message me. You can email me, naomi@mysobergirlfriends.com. I'd love to hear from you, and I will address some of those in our next video.